Good day, my friends, and welcome to Unity Through Past Traumas. What you can't do alone, we can do together by sharing our life stories. On today's episode, all the way from Cleveland, Ohio, I have on another beautiful soul who's here making a huge impact in this world from overcoming his life struggles. Piere Ingram. Welcome, Piere.
Thank you. Thank you, Jay, for having me.
Yes, man.
I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too, brother. That's why we're doing this today.
You know
So
it.
I'll share a little bit about your background before we get started.
Definitely.
Piere was a victim at a young age of being molested, witnessing physical abuse at home between his parents, and then dealing with alcoholism with other family members. He struggled throughout his life dealing with his own demons. Now, today, a light in the world, giving back, wanting to help others know they can turn their life around with finding that inner peace. Today, he's asking people, what kind of new life are you living to live your best life? Beautiful. Love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, as soon as I seen you, because we're mutual friends from another beautiful young soul who's out inspiring the world, Daisha Hanks, and then we met through her, and it was like instantly when I seen you, I was like, wow, the inspiration that comes from you, I absolutely loved because I could feel the energy that comes from you, and I know everyone else who knows you or follows you, the energy, you're like a magnet. Right. And it's such a beautiful feeling to connect with people around the world like we're doing, to make solid friends of others who are bringing light into this world where it's a dark world where a lot of people are suffering. So if you want to share a little bit about where you're at today with what you're doing in life.
Where I'm at today is still breaking through, I'm still breaking through. And I'm writing books and inspiring people with my story of because we all go through pain and struggles, right? But in that pain is the love, right? So where I'm at today is just in a place of true love and pure love, right?
Yeah.
And I want to always keep expanding on the love. So I write poetry. I got into I do music, and I'm a motivational speaker. I like to speak and motivate people and illustrate my story to motivate people into writing that book that's in their hearts, stepping onto a Facebook Live and telling their story. Why? Because it could inspire others. The things that we have inside of us isn't for us. They're for everyone outside of us. It's just kind of like an apple tree. The tree don't need the apples. Everything outside of that tree needs the apples.
Hey, that's awesome. I love that. Did you have any poetry?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Do you want to spin one off now before we get started?
Oh yeah, I'll say one. Hold on 1 second, guys.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 quick second. It's kind of dark in here. Hold on, guys. Now they get up.
Once I get these, I have to get so many going. Then I'll have it on an actual podcast.
Oh yeah, that's good, man.
Yeah, because you need to have so many. So I'm just building up my archive before I go. Yeah, so I've heard you read off some of your poems, or if you're just speaking from the heart when you're doing it, and I'm like, oh my God, this guy is so connected. I love it.
This is called Quiet Time. It once was so loud inside that there was nowhere to hide. Then Jesus arrived. I was no longer deprived. There was this quiet time with him. Jesus was holding my hand. Then suddenly I was no longer corrupted by man. Had my knees on solid ground, quiet time, a whispered sound. So profound, this emptiness I once felt disappeared. In your grace, I tasted the bread of life. You can see love written all over my face. Just a touch of this feeling will change your whole life. Inside of your mind, take his hand and get ready for quiet time.
Awesome, man. That's beautiful. That's awesome. I absolutely love that. You can feel your words.
Yeah.
Right.
I wrote that today real quick. I was actually, tell you the truth, I was actually at work when I wrote that.
Yeah. That's awesome.
These things just come to me like without thinking. It's like thoughtless. I don't think. It just the message goes through you.
Mhm. Yeah. No, completely. You're just so connected to your inner spirit. It just comes through your inner spirit out your mouth, right?
Yep.
It just comes to you. It just, that's
Yep.
beautiful. That's awesome.
Yep.
So, you know, like a lot of us throughout life, especially myself, and I share about my life story all the time,
Yeah.
with the pain and suffering that I went through and why the addictions I had, you know, it's because of that stored energy that was never healed. And then we run into addictions into our life.
Yeah.
So typically I always start off with childhood, you know,
Right.
the earliest one that you can remember that you went through, as for the first experience on a traumatic level for you.
My first experience on the traumatic level is when my dad and mom, they used to have to work, and I used to have to get sent to my grandfather's house to spend the night and things of that sort, because they'd be busy, or I was a kid. I probably still don't know what was going on. But I would go to my grandfather's house and I would get molested, you know. I got molested when I was like, I think I was like 5 or 6 years old.
Mhm.
Right. So that was the first traumatic time. One, because I would get locked in the closet and stuff like that. Well,
So
yeah.
did that keep happening?
Um, till I was like, I think till I was like 6.
Yeah.
It probably was like a couple. It probably was like 3 or 4 times. I think
Yeah.
It's so long ago. I still go back and because you gotta face that stuff seriously, like, because that's the thing that helps you grow. And these things that happen in your life is to help you grow. It helps you grow. Like, seriously, everybody goes through struggles. Everyone has something that they've struggled through. And
Yeah.
this was just something that happened to me when I was a kid. It wasn't my fault, you know. You know.
So how did
But this what
did,
that means to poetry, though.
yeah. No, you're absolutely right. We all do go through struggles because, you know, that's why we come here, is to learn, grow, and evolve. But,
Mhm.
you know, we have to do the work to overcome it. And
Right.
that's why, like, further in life, we go through the pain and suffering because we
Yep.
haven't dealt with it yet. So, you
Yep.
know, as you went through that at such a young age, and I know, you know, for myself, I, I couldn't consciously remember, but I always felt like stored energy inside of, and it turned out that it did happen with the babysitter, even with me being molested when I was about 4 or 5.
Mhm.
And I could feel it, but I couldn't remember it. You can always feel the
Yeah.
emotions, the energy. It's in your field of energy that's stored like a memory bank, right?
Yeah.
Um, but as far as that, like, how did that end up stopping? Did you tell at that time? Like, did you
Mm.
tell someone or?
Yeah. Or they found out somehow. It's still kind of like what it's still like sometimes I can't like actually remember exactly what happened, but I
Yeah.
know they found out somehow. I think
Oh,
it was me who told or something.
okay. And then what other, you know, after that point, you still went through more experiences as a child.
Yeah, yeah. I've seen things, you know, but I've seen like my mom and them arguing and fighting and things of that sort, you know. But then at the point now where I'm at now, it's like I was like, I see all the loving times too. I'm like, hold on.
Hmm.
Now I just know how to focus on the positive.
Yeah.
So all those things that happen, now I just see the positive that came from it.
Yeah. Yeah. Now look, if I'm the same. Looking back today, you know, I actually, for all the stuff I went throughout my life, looking back, because I'm healed from it all,
Hmm.
I appreciate it because of where I'm at today. It's made me into the person I am today from all the hard work that I've done to be here today. And
Right.
it's from the experiences that we've been through that we can give back to people because we understand them and we're speaking
Exactly.
from truth to connect with
True.
them, right?
Yep. Exactly. You got to speak through truth. You can't like, You can't hide from yourself. You can't hide from the things that happen to you, because the things that happen to you, it actually helps you grow. You just
Yeah.
and it stepped me into my gifting, my
Yeah.
level of gifting. Like, and I sometimes I go back to I go back to those moments, and I think about, wow, this is how I came so far because of that, you know, because you could turn those dark times into some really, really bright, into a real bright future
Yeah.
for yourself.
So
And so,
after going through that, because the alcoholism, the drugs, or being around the drug abuse on some level, as a child, going through all that stuff. Then as you turned in, when was the first time you started getting into drinking or drugs at a young age?
exactly. My mom and my dad never did drugs ever.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
no one in my family done drugs that I know of. But me, I grew up. My mom and dad, did not want anyone ever in the house. We not they wouldn't want nobody in there smoking no type of drugs around us. Like, they had us,
Okay.
like, my dad was in the Marines, right? So he used to be really strict on us about the people that we hung out with
Yeah.
and everything. And a lot of that stuff that happened when I was a kid was my choice when it came to drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
I was trying to get away from that molestation. I didn't want to go back there. I was trying to hide it. I was trying to not feel how I felt,
So how old were you when you first started drugs then?
I was like 14.
Okay.
14. I remember it was at the school called Thomas Jefferson. I was walking to school, right? I was walking to school actually with my friend Javier and Derek. And we was walking to school, right? And we went into the alleyway by this brown fence. And my friend pulled a sack of weed out his pants pocket. And he said, "Oh, you ever tried this before, Pierre?" I said, "No, I haven't." So he was like, "Oh, Derek, go to the store." He went to the store and got a shell, or that's what we used to use.
Okay.
Put the
Yeah.
weed in, and
Yeah. Yeah.
I started smoking weed
Yeah.
at 14. Why? Being a follower, because I was a leader the whole time. Just didn't know it. Just
Mm.
didn't know it.
Did you lead into other drugs then as you got older?
Oh yeah, because that's type of stuff happens. That's why you got to watch what you do. It
Yeah.
leads into other stuff. No matter if you think it doesn't, it does. And I start at the age of what, 23. I started doing cocaine and stuff,
Hmm.
doing cocaine, doing X pills and all that stuff. Drinking every day, trying to get away from my past. But
Yeah.
it doesn't work, right? You can't cover up that
No.
type of stuff with drinking and alcohol. It just makes it worse. It
So
just
how,
makes it really
for
worse.
sure. So how long until you started to come off of the partying and the drugs? How old were you when you started to try to turn your life around? And what made you turn your life around?
Oh, what made me turn my life around? I just felt empty. I felt empty. I was like, hold on, man. I got all these things to look forward to. Like, hold on, man. I got a gift. I'm gonna use this gift. Because every time I would do cocaine and drink all the time, I would just like forget about my gift. I would put my gift to the side. I would throw my gift away and say, you know what? I don't need this gift. I don't need this. All I need is alcohol and drugs. This is my gift. You know,
Yeah.
Listening to the other voices in my head, telling me nothing but lies.
So
So
yeah.
go ahead. Go
No,
ahead.
so did you do any form of, how did you start healing actually? Like what type of work did you start to do to actually heal from your past?
The first type of work, I would start writing again, and slowly, this is another type of work I started working on. I started working on separating myself from people that connected me to my past. Right, I stopped. I started to notice like my thoughts, and I started to recognize, like, I started to recognize, like, you know what, it wasn't my fault. I'm gonna start healing myself by my writing, because every time I would write and write about these things to myself, because I would write to myself and read it, and it was like it's like the Holy Spirit speaking to me, but through the writing, but without me actually subconsciously thinking about it or consciously thinking about it. I'm sorry. And I will write and I will read my stuff to myself, and I was like, you know what? This is me talking. It's like my inner me talking to me.
Wow.
Right? So that's what I do now. I just read what's coming from me without thinking. I will write without thinking, and then I read it, and I say, and I was like, this is my inner being talking to me. So I use it as a roadmap, and I know this is a roadmap for others too, not just
Yes.
me. It's
It's
like looking
almost,
in the mirror when I write.
yeah, that's amazing how you just put that, because, I know a lot of people, even sometimes when I've had clients with life coaching, I tell them to start journaling when they don't know how to deal with their emotions and feelings, because there are many different ways that we can go about it. And writing is definitely one. And it's getting those feelings and emotions out. But the way you put it, I've never heard before the way you put it. And
Right.
it's so unique how you just put that, because you're so consciously aligned to your higher self to know that when you're writing, you're letting your higher self, your true self do the writing. And then you're reading
Right.
to consciously, if for your mind consciously is reading what your spirit is writing through
Right.
you. And that I got goosebumps all over right now, because that's pretty amazing on how you just put that.
Earlier, earlier I was sitting there, and this came to me, and it was said, oh, the pressure. It says, oh, the pressure. All this pressure I felt when I was a kid. I can write a list. I felt like nothing, so I tried to slit my wrist. I wanted to give my thoughts a rest. These flashbacks were haunting me. Oh, the pressure beating on my flesh. These suicidal thoughts were watching me when I write. An ongoing sickness, and I couldn't put up a fight. You can be my witness. As you can see this when I write, the darkness tried to shine over the light, but I write to give not just me the light. Oh, the pressure used to have me high as a kite.
Wow. Man, you're powerful. You truly are. I've never felt. I always love the people I have on, each and every person, because each and every person I have on here, the light that comes from them to inspire and to give back is beautiful and powerful. And that's what I love about what I do with my podcast. But you have a very unique connection that I feel with you is very unique, and it almost I feel emotional right now because of how I've never felt this from someone's writing before. I can feel it's going right through me, your words of what you're saying,
I
because
feel
it's
it
not just
too
it's not just your words though. It's where they're coming from, and I can feel that energy from where it's coming from, and it's so powerful. And I'm very blessed and honored to have even connected with you through online and to know you. So, going from, I felt that was a lot of energy for me to
Right,
take on
dude.
just then.
You feel it?
Yeah,
I feel it too. And like when I do it, I feel it. And sometimes I got, whew, I got to take a deep breath because it be all up in here. I feel
yeah,
it.
yeah. So, when you're doing this poetry, when you're writing, connecting to yourself, doing this writing, I would imagine, or I shouldn't imagine, but forgiving people who hurt you,
Oh,
forgiving your past. How did you get past all that, if you did, completely?
that's key. That's key. See, see, I'm a real loving person,
Oh yeah.
and that's part of forgiving. I was like, you know what? When I was a kid, I was like, man, I had to think back. I was like, as I am now as an adult, I want to be the same way where I was a kid. Right now, I want to forgive. The way I forgave is because I wanted to love more. I said, I said, I would meditate. I was like, I just want to love people more. And the only way that I'm going to be able to love other people more is if I forgive. You know,
Yeah.
because that's where my heart's at. I love to love on people no matter what, even if they don't like me or if
Yeah.
they dislike me.
Yeah.
You know
Same.
what? Love is here. You
Yeah.
gotta let it be in the air. Like I don't care what's going on. I'm just gonna share the love with anyone and everyone.
Yes. But, forgiving, see, I know with people, and I got to think about myself. I can't speak for other people ever, but forgiving other people, it is really hard for people to do sometimes.
Okay.
But one of the biggest things that is even harder, or it was for me for a long time, was being able to forgive yourself,
Oh.
right? Through the things that you've done in life.
Oh yeah, forgive yourself for picking up drugs and doing all types of stuff
All
that
the
you
stuff, yes.
right, right. That's the biggest thing. You got to forgive yourself first.
Yeah.
Everything starts with you, right? Everything starts with the inner work.
Yeah.
We cannot like we can never go on the outside and say, "Oh, I blame everyone around here for all of this," you know?
But
I
I bet
mean,
were you doing it when we were doing drugs though? Because I know when I was using drugs, I was blaming other people
I
for
was
why I
blaming
was doing it.
everyone. Dude, I was blaming everyone. Like, oh man, my life is crappy. It's crappy. Oh, you made me do this because the way you talk to me, the way you treat me, like blaming everyone. Like,
Yeah.
never looking in the mirror.
Yeah.
Never looking in the mirror.
Well, it was hard to look in the mirror at that time too, to look at yourself,
Right.
right?
Exactly. You know.
And
I know.
what about the self-love and self-worth? When did you start feeling that for yourself?
When I start going back to my gift. When I start going back to the gift and like, you know what, this gift was put here for I could help other people. And every time I started writing, I start forgiving myself. I start having more self-worth, like because it's in my writing. The writing is the light. You know what I'm saying? It's transmitted light. Transmitted, It books, that's why I love books. Books are so powerful, man. And it lasts for generations. People never remember what you said, but they remember how you feel, how you
Yes.
made them feel. And that's
Mhm.
by word. That's why I do poetry. That means a lot to me. I don't care about sometimes I don't care about what I say. I want to move you emotionally. I want to move people to move other people to move, and those people move other people
Yeah.
because it's more than just about me. It's not, it's about generations to come.
Yeah. That's one of the things with the class that I teach now, for my own class that I have done up. When we start living through the consciousness of our higher self, then you will start feeling the worthiness come in, the fulfillment and purpose. Like when you're writing, it all comes out because you're so aligned to your inner spirit that
Right.
it just comes out, and you feel the worthiness, you feel the self-love, you feel it because it's coming through you.
Right.
And that was for me as well, through my transformation as well. That was the biggest thing for me. The more I started aligning to feeling my true self inside and
Mm-hmm.
allowing that to express through me,
Mm-hmm.
that's when I started feeling more of the worthiness and fulfillment. And my life was making sense now on giving back. Because, like you said, it's not about me anymore. My life is not about me.
Right.
It's
It's
about
not.
giving. No, it's about us giving back,
Right.
right? To inspire in the unique ways that we all have for the gifts that we're stronger with, and
Right.
connecting with different people. We all have different tools to connect with different people that will come to us. They will be aligned to come to us and to find us because they can receive what it is that we're offering to give back.
Yep. Exactly.
Right. So, what kind of books have you been like, what type of books were helping you on your path?
Oh, what type of books?
Like
Oh, the
self-help type,
Bible?
like, yeah,
No,
okay,
no,
fair, yeah.
Bible. The
Hmm.
Bible.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So when did you start with that then, where you felt the impact was starting to shift in your
I,
life?
I always started to read it, but then I would get shift away from it, and then I would come back to it because, but it was like my gift, to write my gift too. That's why I know it's like very important to me in my life because I would give my writing up, and then I would come back to it, then I would give it up.
And
But
did you find it's almost like we're guided to the things that are going to help us and bring fulfillment into our lives. We'll do it for a little bit and we get so much that we need, and then for some reason we'll go back to it, and then it's like we need more information we'll get from going back to the book, to where you're reading. That's how it was for me with certain things. Was that how it was for you as well? You just found like you connected more with what you were reading?
right, I connected more for while I'm reading. Now I'm just about to live it. I'm about to all these words in and be the living flesh of the word, walking flesh of a powerful word, one big word, and that word is love.
And people feel it, and that's why you keep inspiring and keep doing your video posts that you do, and I'll post as well in the caption, for your page for people to find you.
Yes.
Right, because you do your live videos where you inspire people daily.
Yes, daily. You have to. You have to do it even when you don't want to, like when you're tired. Why? Because it's not for you. It's not for us. It's for everyone outside of us.
Yeah. But now, how does it make you feel when you do it, though?
It makes you feel good, really good. Why? Because it's not just we're doing it for ourselves. That's how you know it's very. That's why you know this is what we were destined to do. Everyone is to inspire people and just share the love, like, because it makes you feel so warm inside.
Yeah.
I swear, man. It's like sometimes I can't even explain the feeling to be able to share your story and help people. I don't like right now in my head, I was thinking some funny stuff like I'm gonna share my thoughts with you. Oh yeah, I wonder what my family think if they listen to this. And then my soul saying, "Who cares? Who cares, Pierre? Who cares? What matters is that you could share your story and help the masses, because there's people out here that going through this that need to hear this. You guys, I know it's people out here. I know you guys need to hear this, and this is the straight up truth that love overpowers everything. It's fear that has us going back to these things that we used to do. It's fear that has us going back to alcohol and drugs. It's fear because we're afraid of the unknown. Can my life get better than this? What will my life be? Just use those words. What if? What if? And that will get you out of some of these things that you're going through. What if? Because you could start imagining yourself being better than who you were yesterday.
Love it. That's what same. Oh, brother from a different mother, you and me. I I absolutely love you, Piere. Absolutely love who you are. And
love you too, bro.
It's always for me, because you and me are so much alike, it just makes me smile. Because the way I look at myself, is every day is a new day, and it's always thriving each day to be better than I was yesterday.
Yes.
Every day. That's all I do every day. It's like, what did I do wrong yesterday? And you know what? That's my whole life. Even I struggled with drug addictions for almost 25 years. And even 10 years ago, when I started treatment for my first time, I struggled and struggled and struggled trying to stop. And the one thing about me is I never stopped, and I would always try to learn at what I did wrong and eliminate it. And if I messed up again, I'd see where I went wrong, eliminate it. Now, I'm a slow learner, but I never gave up. Never gave up.
Too, man. I'm a slow learner too, but the only time you lose, the only time you lose and never wins when you just give up, when you never keep going at it. Like, that's how I was. Man, I'll try to quit doing drugs more than one time. But what I found out, it was I would hang around the same people again.
Mm.
I'll try to stop doing these things and I'll go back and hang with the same people again. Like, Pierre, you're not going to stop smoking. You're not going to stop doing drugs until you stop hanging around with the same people.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's hard because people, places, and things. That's what we learn, right? We
Yep.
keep going back
Yep.
to people, places, and things. And for me, I kept relapsing because of one friend. It's not because of him, but it was our relationship. And instantly it was that energy that we've always had with using hard drugs together.
Yeah.
And it was really hard to say, I can't hang out with you anymore, because he was one of the last straws I was hanging on to, you know, but it had to be done. When someone is hooked on, when you're hooked on addictions, and they're like, again, people, places, and things, if you're a slow learner like myself, or, you know, like yourself, unfortunately, you know, that's just that person's path. But we end up coming up to the conclusion that we just have to start cutting those out of our life. And because we desire the freedom from it, from the pain and suffering of what we're doing to ourselves, right?
Yes. We got to get out of victimhood. Like, we have to get out of victimhood. Just think about how many people that you can help, you know, that you could really change their lives, man, just by your story. Just, you got to climb out. You got to climb out the dirt. You got to climb out the dirt and you got to climb out the dirt and hang from the sun. You got to climb out the dirt and start hanging from the sun, and just feel full of light. Just let the light shine. Like, seriously, like, I thought I would never come out of this. Like, literally, like, I was like, man, it was times where I would sleep at night from doing drugs, right? And have like my heart problems, and I would be breathing all hard. And I would be sitting there freaking out, like, man, I think I'm about to die, right? From doing drugs all night. It was just ridiculous how I was treating myself. That just was a person that didn't love himself, right? It was just like, Pierre, you didn't love yourself, right? But you got to tell yourself the truth. Back then, I didn't love myself. I had no self-worth. Like, but some people that were around me could see it. Like the people that I would hang around with, I think they even knew I was better than how I was treating myself. It was like, he has some potential in here, right? But some people are scared to let you go because then they'll feel lonely. Like, I can't, right? And then that's how I felt when I would get away from these people. I was like, oh my God, I miss them. But we wasn't good for each other, right? Because we're doing drugs together. That killed both of us. And we both had to give. We both have something that we could give to society, a gift or love.
And it's a beautiful thing when we reach this point where we're at today. It's like, thank God we're finally here. Woo!
I'm like, dude, I can feel it right now. Like, I got goosebumps too. Like, this is seriously like, whew.
And what an amazing feeling. And you know, that's what I've said to others as well. We all have a unique story. We all have something that we can give back if we choose to. And our stories are all, like I said, they're all unique, our path. And the beautiful thing about it, if we were all the same, life would be boring here, you know? How boring would that be?
All the time. My dad would say that all the time. Like, literally, he would say that to me every day before he passed away, right? And here, I don't know, going back to another story, like, through this year, last year, 2019, while I was writing this book, when I was quitting smoking, right? So I quit smoking in 2019, the beginning of 2019. I quit smoking cigarettes, right? And I started working out again, right? My mom died, and she died in May, at the end of May, and then my dad died 6 months later. And through all of this, right? I didn't go back to drugs. Through all of this, that was the test.
Yes.
To see if you will, at this hard time when you're losing both of your parents, are you going to quit? Are you going to go back to doing drugs? Are you going to go back to drinking every day? I'm not even gonna lie. I went when my mom and my dad died. No excuse. I went back and I did start drinking.
Yeah.
I was started drinking. I was like, you know what? No, I gotta put this stuff away because one drink leads to another, and then that leads to another. And you know what? That just leads to another trail of, oh yeah, it's gonna trail you right back to that same place, one beer at a time. It's just like working out, one weight at a time, lifting weights, right? And so I said, you know what? Then I started writing a book when my mom died. A little bit before she died, I started writing my book called New Life because I already saw where I wanted to go. And I started to write that book all before this stuff started happening because I already knew where I wanted to go. I seen the ending. I saw the ending, and I started to create my future little by little because I already saw the ending. So I said, you know what? This is motivation, and I'm gonna stay committed no matter what I gotta do. I'm going to say stay committed. Stay committed. Because if I stay committed to myself, I'll be committed to everyone else.
Yeah.
So that was, go ahead.
No,
Jeff.
I was going to say, so that was the feeling of just giving back, the drive that you had within you to give back to people.
Yes. And I feel like I got to keep giving. I got to keep giving. So I'm going to start writing on my next book. It's called Everyone Loses Sometimes. And the next books after that's going to be called I Bleed Through This Ink. The next book after that's going to be called Under the Shadows.
Yeah. So do you have one? You have one published now?
Oh yes.
Okay.
Yes. Amazon. It's called New Life.
Okay, awesome. Because I'll definitely be adding that in as well, into the caption when I post this as well. That's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Did you have another poem that you wanted to read off?
Oh yeah.
Before we end it, any one. It doesn't matter what it is.
Oh, I got one. All right, here we go. I'll read this one. As I contemplate my thoughts, my words want to move without me. These powerful words move out the mouth, and it quickly reroutes me to my own world of new things to come. Powerful words under the sun. It feels so good sometimes sitting under the shade while my old life passes away. I walk, I look around. My powerful words sometimes has me down. I had to tell myself the truth. I wish my feelings were bulletproof. I took shots or two, but that would never stop me. I just look toward the light every time my past haunts me. And I just move into that powerful me that God told me that I am. And I told my past to catch me if he can. But that would never happen. I started from drugs to alcohol to getting back to rapping. But forget what happened in my past. It's about how long will I last to the future me. I see things that no one else sees. So I have to share it with the rest of the world. Powerful word.
It's beautiful, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely love your stuff.
I thought I'd come off the head. The rest of the stuff was just like out of my head.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely a beautiful gift and very powerful to connect with so many, to truly to feel it. It's feelings. It all comes down to feelings, feeling the energy, the emotions that come through the words, and it connects with people. Same thing with songwriters, no different. When they sing, if their true self wrote it, people are going to feel it, and they're going to become huge off of it because people can feel the energy. I mean, it's connecting with it, right?
It's so
the words,
powerful.
Goosebumps all over. It's the words and the power.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Man, I'm so looking forward to seeing your life unfold. I feel very honored to know you, and I feel very blessed that I can see and watch your life unfold, and for us to continue our friendship. It's a beautiful thing.
Yes, This is a
Yeah.
very beautiful thing. Like,
Hmm.
man, like I'm just grateful.
Yeah.
I'm I'm just grateful. I'm grateful
Hmm.
for you, Jeff. I'm grateful for this platform. I'm grateful
Hmm.
for everything that's inside me, around me. I'm grateful for the known and the unknown. I'm grateful for the uncertainties in my life. I'm grateful
Hmm.
for this air that I'm breathing that I can't see, but it's the realest thing. I'm just grateful for you, Jeff. God
Yeah.
bless.
Thank you,
Love
man. Yeah.
you. I love it.
Same. Most
Good
definitely.
company.
So if you want to give back in another way, and again, social media in today's day and age, it's a beautiful thing because, if we were to go back 50 years, we didn't have internet to connect with people. It was writing letters if you knew someone.
Right.
Now we can connect to the millions of people, which is such a beautiful gift to be giving back to people. But what are two things, two tidbits that you could give back to people who may be suffering today, whether they suffered in the past where they're holding on to the secrets of molestation, or just any type of form of abuse that they might be suffering with at home, or at any level? What two tips could you give them to help them as you've been helped in your life?
Just write some of these things down and read it to yourself. Start writing to yourself because it's a form of what how you call it self-awareness. It's a self-awareness, and it's like healing you. When you write, it heals you to
Mm-hmm.
read some of the things that's going on inside your thought, because it's like you're 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 reading your thoughts on paper, and then you can recognize what's going on in your own head.
So for you, it's you're not thinking about the words, you're just letting them flow, the feelings of what you're feeling, you're
You
letting
have,
them flow
yeah.
out.
Yes. So you got to go through it. You got to go through the shadows. You got to go through the darkness. Why? We are the light. So you have to walk through it. You got to walk through your path. Don't hold on to them. Just walk through them and say, you know what? I love all about this. I love all of this. Why? Because it took me to where I am now, right?
Yeah.
You got to, that's what's going to pull you through, is to face the fears. Is to face your fears. That's what's going to pull you through.
All those feelings and emotions that are buried inside of us, it's
Yes,
getting them out on paper and just letting it flow out. And
yes.
like you said, for yourself, it's overcoming the fear of doing it and just doing it. And
Yep.
then the healing process starts to
Begin.
connect.
And it
Yeah.
starts to begin. And it
Yeah.
starts that journey, you know, the
Yeah.
journey for you to be able to help others that's
Yeah.
been through the same thing that you've been through.
Yeah.
And that's what's so powerful about it.
Yeah.
But
I'm
if
just,
you wouldn't have went through that, we couldn't have been able to help other people, right?
yeah.
If you wouldn't have went through some of the things that you've been through, and I wasn't, if hold on one second. I still got goosebumps. I'm still
Me too.
like literally. I gotta catch my breath, right, because I feel all these feelings right now, and that energy that goes through you, that it's a lot sometimes.
Yeah. But that's a very healthy way, because we need to find healthy outlets to healing ourselves. So writing it down, getting those feelings out, writing it on paper, getting the energy, the stored emotions of energy that are stored and a part of us. It's truly what helped you in the biggest way, the biggest impact, is just
Right.
getting the energy out into words.
Yeah.
And that is how you released it for yourself to start healing and to be the beautiful being that you are today, and giving back in the way you're giving. That was a big process for you.
Oh, right. Because
Yeah.
without that, I would have never even got on Facebook Lives or said anything.
I know.
I would have kept hiding in my house or something, hiding in my feelings
Yeah.
instead of just letting them out.
Yeah.
Like I was when I first started a Facebook Live, I did not want to get on there. I was shaking in my boots, but I
Yeah.
said, you know what? This story people have to hear. I have to share myself with the world. You know,
Yeah.
that's the
And then What were, if you were to go back 10 years ago, you know, with the friends you were hanging out with, do you think they would see you what you're doing today? Do you think they would have pictured that from who you were 10 years ago?
I don't think so. You know what I think they would say right now? He's coming back to us. He's coming back. And I would say this, no, I'm not. I'm enjoying this journey.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would say I'm still here to help to pull them up when they're ready.
Yeah. Which is a beautiful gift to give back when they're ready, but they have to be ready. They have to find their rock bottom, you know, for themselves. So awesome. Thank you so much for today. I was so looking forward to doing this for such a long time, and I had to take a break for a bit because I had a couple months to work on my course that I have, you know, so I needed to focus on that. So I had to put my podcast on delay. But I'm so grateful to come back and to have you as my first person to come back to. And like I said, I look forward to many more years of our friendship growing. And like I said, watching each other, grow in life.
No doubt.
Yes.
Exactly.
So I want to thank everyone for watching and tuning in. And if you can, you know, please hit the share button, because clicking on that share button could be saving a life today. And it could be someone who's suffering that you don't even know who's suffering, who's a loved one. So please, please, please. And then again, thank you everyone for watching. And I'll be on again, I don't know when, maybe a week or two, and I'll just do these randomly. And thanks again, Piere, for coming on. And we'll talk again soon.
You're welcome.
Okay, bye for now, everyone.